I had to go and just say that. You're not a dynasty, bro. You know what I mean? Motherfucker, you got 2 rings. You don't win. Please stop. You know what I mean? But anyways, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man. AKA Mr. Take It Easy. For you end up like Beezy, man. Make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. This was probably one of the most stupidest trades of the night. I ain't gonna lie. Now, AJ Brown getting traded from the Smeagol's, that was #1 on my list. And this right here, Myles Garrett getting traded. I mean, this is stupid. When I mean the Cleveland Browns fleeced y'all mother effers, bro. The Cleveland Browns fleeced y'all mother effers. I realized 20 sack Myles Garrett. I realized 20 sack, but the man 30-some years. I mean, 30 years old. I mean, come on. You getting rid of Jared Verse for what? It was just unnecessary. What you getting rid of Jared Verse for? You know what I'm saying? Like, for what, bro? Why? There's no reason for you to get rid of Jared Verse. Literally a top 10 edge rusher in the league. Like, what the? It just made no sense. I don't understand it, bro. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. You feel me? Like, I don't get it. You had an edge rusher already. You already had an edge rusher. You got 2, Byron Young and freaking Jared Verse. Motherfucker, you could have made it to the Super Bowl with Jared. You almost made it to the Super Bowl with Jared Verse. It's just a stupid move. I realize it's Myles Garrett, but it's just dumb. Like, I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand. I just don't get the move, bro. I'll see if it was like a trash edge rusher. It's Jared Verse, bro. See if it was trash. And then you not only gave it Jared Verse, but you gave a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 second round pick. If I'm not mistaken, in 2029, like, you gave up multiple picks. You feel me? For Cleveland, just, I don't know, man. Like,
breaking news in the NFL: the Los Angeles Rams have acquired Myles Garrett in a trade.
I don't get it, bro.
Cleveland.
Realize 23 sacks, but
Latest from Jonathan Jones. Garrett
free
is the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, an award he also
come on, Myles gonna be a beast. Jared Verse is a beast.
All-Pro, a 7-time Pro Bowler. Meantime, Cleveland acquires linebacker Jared Verse in the deal. The return is still being finalized. The Browns are
bro said win now mode.
First-round pick and more, so we will continue to follow.
So if you don't win now, then
this trade, but obviously huge breaking news.
Basically, you just gave up your future for.
In studio with us, our NFL insider Jonathan Jones joining us. Pete, I do want to come to you first here because when we were talking about this earlier in the AJ Brown of all this.
I mean, getting Myles Garrett is a good trade.
Possibly being at play to get Myles Garrett. Instead, it's the Rams. Your reaction here?
Look, Les Snead did it again. I mean, Les Snead is great at making moves to try and win it now. Remember, the last time they won a Super Bowl, they made the move to go get Jalen Ramsey, and what they did is they won a Super Bowl. Then they had to rebuild the team. He rebuilt the team, and now he goes big again because, look, Matt Stafford's not a kid anymore. I think this might be his last year, although he could play into next year. We'll see, but why not make the move, swing for the fences? I love it for the Rams, but I also do like it kind of for the Cleveland Browns as well.
JJ, what more can you tell us went into this trade between those two teams?
So we're still waiting on the finalized details. Ultimately, what this deal is going to wind up being is whatever the equivalent of 3 first-round draft picks are. Okay, you're talking about Myles Garrett. You're talking about the Defensive Player of the Year 2 of the past 3 years. The reigning sack king. He's 30 years old. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he retired right now. Okay, and so Micah Parsons went for 2 1s and Kenny Clark.
You keep talking about Cleveland, bro. Cleveland gonna be an underrated threat. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Cleveland had a good draft this year, bro. Like, people sleeping on Cleveland, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cleveland not going to be bad. I don't know what the freak y'all talking about. Better go see how Cleveland built their team, bro. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland not going to be bad this season, bro. They're going to be an underrated dark horse team too. Watch. You know what I'm saying? Talking about always messes up, bro. Hey, bro, like I said, bro, they probably found it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Probably found it this season, man. Got a new head coach, got a new defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? They probably find it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But Cleveland definitely 10 times better than where they were, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Got a good wide receiver. Got KC Concepcion. You know what I'm saying? Added that. You know what I mean? Got Jared Verse now. You feel me? I definitely feel like they can make some noise, bro, honestly.
Diminished 3-time Pro Bowler. You go back to Khalil Mack. He went for 2 1s and some change, but there was a second that got sent back in return for him. So this is unprecedented, okay? A reigning defensive player of the year. The closest thing we have in the modern NFL history is Khalil Mack, who was dealt a year and a half after he won the defensive player of the year. Myles Garrett, who is...
Better stop sleeping on Cleveland, bro.
Julius Peppers, going to L.A. Already the Super Bowl favorites, now just enhancing those odds, one has to believe. And the return for Cleveland equals 3-1. How do I break that down? Obviously a 2027 one. You have Jared Verse, who was a first-round pick a couple years ago, wound up being defensive rookie of the year. So if he were to get dealt in a deal outside of Myles Garrett, he would go for at least a 1 and then some, right? And then they're still working through the particulars, but I would imagine it will be a second and a third-round pick, something that winds up adding up to 3 1s for Myles Garrett going to the Super Bowl favorite Los Angeles Rams.
And as we're taking a look at a graphic of most defensive player of the year,
Aaron Donald, man.
On that list, JJ, I can tell you are right. The Rams.
Aaron Donald not coming out. He's not coming out of retirement. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like the Rams getting Myles Garrett. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I mean, that's a freaking banger trade for Sholioli. I just like, dang, bro, Jared Verse, kind of young and all that, and then giving up that much picks too as well. But I feel like the Rams could have been 10 times better. They ain't freaking draft Trash Simpson. You know what I mean? I really don't understand. I mean, why they drafted Trash Simpson. You know what I'm saying? I would have went with a quarterback. I just don't understand that. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You know what I mean? I guess they was doing it for the future because they know Matt Stafford not gonna be there for a long time. But I mean, bro, you should have got a quarterback. I would have got Carson Beck, you know what I'm saying, later round. And should have got a quarterback in the later round. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have got a quarterback in the first round. He's not a first-round talent, and I'm going to just tell you that for Sholioli. But I know Rams fans what Rams fans, y'all going to try to tell me about Trash Simpson? Y'all going to try to overhype that draft pick too? You know what I'm saying? You know how people is, though, always trying to overhype everything. You know what I'm saying? But people love trying to say I try to overhype everything, bro. Look, bro, I don't try to overhype everything. I'm going to just keep it real with you, bro. I just feel like who we got is actually good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Francis Maguinoa. Arvell Reese, I feel like they actually some good picks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Darnell Mooney, before he got injured, he almost hit 1,000 yards as a wide receiver number 2. Called him Darnell Booty because he was with the freaking ops. You know what I'm saying? I feel like who we get, bro, is actually good players, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, that's just how I feel, bro. You know what I'm saying? If they're not good. You don't see me overhyping Juju Smith-Schuster. You know what I'm saying? You don't see me overhyping, you know what I mean, some of these other cats, Calvin Austin III. You know what I mean? You feel me? But if I feel like we got a good player, I'm going to speak on that, bro. I feel like we got a good player. You know what I mean? Simple as that.
7-1 to win the Super Bowl.
I don't overhype everybody that we get, bro. That's just false.
And we were talking with Pete before we came up here about your post-draft power rankings.
Bro said Darnell Mooney is actually trash. I mean, how can you say Darnell Mooney is actually trash when he was injured most of the season? You know what I mean? I really don't understand that. And then the season before last, he almost had 1,000 yards, but he almost trash. You know what I mean? But you was blaming your OC. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy when I call Michael Penix Jr. trash, he ain't trash. Is he your OC or is it the Falcons? I mean, is it the OC or is it Darnell Booty? Is it the OC or, you know what I mean? You love saying offensive coordinator trash, you know what I'm saying? I mean, is it the OC or what is it, bro? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And now it's coaching now. Like, make up your dang mind, bro. What is it? How was Darnell Booty trash and he was dang near injured dang near the whole season? What are you talking about?
Behind the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks. It makes sense. We were talking to Robert Turbo.
No, y'all just trash. I mean, Falcons, you make everybody trash. You know what I mean? Let's keep it real with you, bro. You know what I mean? You make everybody trash. Nobody's good when they come to you. You make Kirk Cousins trash. Kirk Cousins was literally top 5 in passing yards before he came to you. You make everybody trash. Falcons fans make everybody trash, bro. You know what I'm saying? Simple. Falcons make everybody trash, bro. You feel me?
Well, he was doing his Super Bowl prediction. He had the Seahawks sweeping the Rams in the regular season this year in those last games. So call him crazy, call him what you want. That's how he felt. Now that we have this news, how do your power rankings change? And what do you tell Robert Turbin on the sweep there?
Well, you know, I always keep the Super Bowl champ at number 1 to start the season. So I'll keep the Seattle Seahawks there. And by the way, remember when we go back to that playoff game, they couldn't stop Seattle. They needed to stop Seattle, and they couldn't. And so going to get Trent McDuffie, the corner, signing Jalen Watson, the corner. What did we talk about all last year? They couldn't cover anybody. And now you add the most dynamic edge rusher in the league.
Man, let's keep it real, bro. And this is just like how I feel, bro. I feel like the two people that was in the Super Bowl this year was not supposed to be in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna just keep it real, especially the Patriots. I feel like the Patriots would have lost. If the Broncos was healthy, I feel like the Patriots would have lost. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Honestly, they had Bo Nix, they would have lost. You know what I mean? That's just facts. Same thing for the Seahawks versus the Rams. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if the freaking Rams punt returner would have freaking caught the ball, you know, the Seahawks would have lost. If that tight end would have caught the open passes, the Seahawks would have lost. You know what I mean? So I feel like the Rams lost because of the Rams. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you know.
Defense, the defense is going to be.
Should have been the Rams versus the Broncos, in my
The
opinion.
Rams are all in, but there is some good things for the Cleveland Browns here, and I think we're kind of glossing over that. Myles Garrett wasn't around. Okay, he wasn't taking part in the offseason program.
You talking about some
that's
Smitty,
never a
bro.
good thing when you have a new coach. A, B. Now you have draft picks, and 2027 will be the draft of the quarterback. And if you have the Browns and you have all those draft picks, you have 2 1s now. You have what you get, a 2 and a 3 coming back. You have the arsenal, if you want to be able to go up and get the guy you want. Because clearly, they might play with Deshaun Watson this year. He's not the long-term answer. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is the long-term answer. So now, all of a sudden, you're building this young roster until you get your quarterback, and next year you go get your quarterback.
JJ, I want to get back to what you know about this deal, because as we sit here 100 days out from the NFL season, a lot of the talk about A.J. Brown and this 4 p.m. Window marker here with everything surrounding him. Where was the Myles Garrett sort of talk surrounding?
It's crazy how all y'all got the same voice, man. You know what I mean? Chinese got the same voice. You know what I mean? You not even listening. You don't look at him. G, you think that's a white man talking. You know what I'm saying? All y'all got the same voice, man. You know what I'm saying? All y'all got the same voice. Chinese sound like, I'm like, golly, man. I'm looking at him like, bro, what the freak, bro?
Surrounding him, as we heard some about A.J. Brown and this 4 p.m. Window marker here with everything surrounding him. Where was the Myles Garrett sort of talk surrounding?
Like, is it like a talk that y'all have to, like, before y'all sign a contract, do they say you have to talk like this? Do they tell you, like, you have to talk like this in order for you to get the job or something? Like, is that in the contract? Why do all you mother effers talk the same? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Chinese, whether it's Asian, all you mother effers talk like a white mother effer. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, bro. That voice just kind of pisses me off. The ladies do the same thing, bro. I'm gonna say I'm gonna talk just like me, man. You know what I mean? It's your boy Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy. Yeah, you know you got Myles Garrett going to them. I'm not finna change my voice. I'm gonna talk how I talk. And if you don't want me to talk like that, then guess what? I'm not gonna be a part of your network.
Other teams interested, other moves potentially be made, and then how do we sort of arrive to today?
Yeah, can I just say,
I promise you he don't talk like that in real life.
is like nothing compared to this.
Look how he
I
talk.
think we really need to contextualize what this deal is. This is major.
Yeah.
This is, we throw around blockbuster. This is like Will Smith and
he probably talk like that for real. I'm just looking at it. He probably talk like that for real.
we throw around blockbuster. This is like Will Smith.
He said, "Look, you see, you got to talk professional. What I don't talk professional, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't talk professional just because, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, it's a sound. You got to talk to professional. You understand what I'm saying? Do you? Right? I don't understand all that professional talk. I'm gonna be me regardless. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm not finna change up. I'm not finna. See, that's one thing about me. I'm not finna change my voice and act like somebody I'm not. I don't curse. You know what I'm saying? I don't act. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me? You said they're network will, and that's why I'll never get on a network unless I can be myself. I mean, you said they're gonna fire me. How you gonna fire me or be myself? That's why I like Inside the NBA. That's why I watch Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. You gonna fire me because I'm being myself? The freak? I guess I won't be a part of your network then. But you mother for some sellouts. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead and just talk like a little good boy you is. You know what I'm saying? Do what they say. I don't give a dang about money, bro. That's how I'm built. I'm gonna be myself, whether you accept me for me or you accept me at all. That's why I like Charles Barkley and them. You know what I mean? Shout out to my boy Charles Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, that's why I like them. Charles Barkley, bro, himself, bro. Shaquille O'Neal himself. That's why everybody like Inside the NBA. We watch Inside the NBA more than we watch CBS. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Talking about they gonna fire me. Mother ever fire me then, bro. I don't give a dang, but I'm gonna be me regardless. But where I go, I don't give a dang where I'm at. I don't care where I'm at. 5-star restaurant. I ain't no ghetto acting person, bro. You know what I mean? I'm a very stand-up dude, but one thing Jay gonna do is be himself, bro. Not finna switch up my voice to impress you, mother effer. F you, mother effer.
Today, July 4th, like summer blockbuster.
Freak wrong with you,
we
boy.
still went to movie theaters, okay?
Ain't no person that just cuss and just talk out of turn and all that. But I'm not finna change my voice like this. It was very extravagant, very extraordinary, you know. I like the way I do this and I like the way I do that. You know what I mean? Myles Garrett getting traded to the Rams was very extraordinary trade. You know what I mean? A+ grade all across the board. You know what I mean? I really think they can make it to the Super Bowl this year. You know, having Myles Garrett and Brian Young with Matthew Stafford, man, it's going to be an extraordinary season.
You don't trade the reigning defensive player of the year, who I and a number of people around the league would argue is the most impactful non-quarterback in the NFL today, who is still doing it at this sort of level. Now, there's plenty of sense to why the Cleveland Browns would do it. After 9 years, you twice have made him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. You had 5 wins or so last year to show for it. The year before, 3 wins.
I mean, they wasn't winning with him, bro. I mean,
truly going to be competing for the playoffs? No, probably not. So you start planning for 2027, right? Pete's right about the quarterback position. Now they have 2 ones. They're going to have other ammunition. Obviously, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson, probably the latter, ultimately winning this quarterback competition before we go into summer break. And so how competitive will the Browns be?
He said, what? Hold on, what?
It's going to be Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson, probably the latter, ultimately winning this quarterback competition before we go in.
Well, let me see.
So you start planning for 2027, right? Pete's right about the quarterback position. Now they have 2 ones. They're going to have other ammunition. Obviously, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson, probably the latter, ultimately winning this quarterback competition.
They're going to give Deshaun Watson the starting job.
How competitive will the Browns be?
Why would they look, you know what I'm saying? Why would they, you know what I'm saying? Why would they let Shedeur start over a man that's making dang near $200 million? I mean, like, they're going to start Deshaun Watson. I mean, this
with Myles Garrett in 2026. And so you send him away to the Rams. You get draft picks. And let's be honest about this. The last 2 drafts, especially, the Browns have been really good draft picks.
That's what I just said.
They won the Jacksonville trade, no matter if Travis Hunter becomes a Hall of Famer. They won the Jacksonville trade.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to become a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think he's going to become too many of these athletes. I'm not saying him, but too many of these athletes starting to turn Twitch streamers.
And they got the defensive rookie of the year in Carson Schlesinger, along with Harold Fannin Jr. and Quinshon Junkins. So they're getting draft picks, and they appear to draft well. On top of that, they get 5 years younger at the position in Jared Verse. Now, is Jared Verse Myles Garrett? Absolutely not. But when you look at the quarterback pressures created by the past 2 years when Jared
definitely
Verse got into the league, there's only 5 other players who have more quarterback pressures than Jared Verse. And because he's entering his 3rd year of his rookie contract, he's not even extension eligible until after this season. And so you go from a $40 or so million player in Myles Garrett to a really good Pro Bowl-like player who's costing you a couple $1 million. And so we understand that that's what the Browns are doing. They finally looked themselves in the mirror and said, are we going to compete with Myles Garrett now, or do we sell high with him coming off 23 sacks this past season? They do that, and I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this trade compensation and wondering, boy, did they get enough for him? It's a haul. It's a big, big haul. And again, just to really reiterate, this is so much bigger than any other trade that could possibly be done today. Really unprecedented in the modern NFL.
It reminds me of when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was traded to the Lakers. That's how big this is, because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a star player, and they traded him to the Lakers for draft picks and some guys, and it really worked out well for the Lakers. I mean, when you trade a star of this magnitude, like JJ said, it doesn't happen often in sports. And for the Browns, I think it was a necessary thing to do. I really believe that. I mean, let's be real. They're not winning this year. Myles Garrett's not a kid anymore. He's not around. You get a young pair.
I hate when people be like, they're not winning this year. You don't know what the freak they're doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut your little old self up. You don't know what they're doing. They're not winning this year. You don't know. Nobody thought the Patriots was going to be to the Super Bowl. I mean, the Patriots was just a 4-win team the season before last. You don't know what the freak going to happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the unexpected happened. Like the Knicks. The Knicks is in the NBA Finals this season. None of us expected the Knicks to be here. Promise you. Nobody thought the Knicks would be here. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the unexpected, bro. The unexpected happens in sports. When we made it to the Super Bowl, bro, nobody expected us to make it. being a wild card team. Nobody expected us to be the undefeated Patriots team. Nobody expected that. Sports is unpredictable, bro, for surely all. So all that love, they're not going to win it. You're an old freak.
Rusher and verse. Now, like JJ said, he's not Myles Garrett, but he's still a young football player. He can become a really dynamic edge player. You have those draft picks now. And by the way, how good were they with Myles Garrett last year? He had an all-time season in terms of sacks, and how good were they? They weren't very good.
The numbers tell you exactly how good they were last year. They were not so bad on defense, but maybe on offense. JJ, you have more?
So I just want to, because this is really kind of this perfect, almost parallel. Remember a couple years ago, so first of all, Les Snead went about 7 years without a first-round draft pick, right? Because he sent 2 ones to Jacksonville for Jalen Ramsey, and he sent a couple more ones to Detroit for Matthew Stafford. There was a Brandon Cooks trade in there as well. If you go back to the 2021 season, when the LA Rams ultimately won the Super Bowl, where was the Super Bowl? It was in SoFi Stadium. They had Matthew Stafford. They had a young up-and-coming wide receiver in Cooper Kupp. They had a veteran receiver in Odell Beckham Jr. At the trade deadline, they dealt for a future Hall of Fame pass rusher in Von Miller, and they had an all-pro corner in Jalen Ramsey that they had traded for. Now, what happens in the 2026
And he put them Giants up there, man.
Matthew Stafford.
He put them Giants up there for sure.
In Puka Nacua, a veteran.
Put them Giants up there.
In Devontae
Sure.
Adams. They have traded for a Hall of Fame pass rusher.
And they put us in there.
In Myles Garrett, and they have an all-pro corner in Trent McDuffie. And where is the Super Bowl being played this upcoming season? That's right, SoFi Stadium. So really remarkable. Obviously, there's no Aaron Donald involved in
put us in there.
Story in 2026, but really interesting to see where these Rams are just 5 years later.
It's interesting, too, just as we're kind of getting caught up on the news, and I'm looking at a quote from Todd Monken, and he's at a golf event, and he was asked if he thought that Myles Garrett was going to be on the team, and he said, I wasn't assured of anything when I took the job. So it kind of feels like he even knew going into today what this was going to look like. We don't want to assume. Pete, we've talked a lot about the Rams, and JJ mentioned the Super Bowl being at their home facility, so obviously we feel like we know that they will be a contender in 2026. You talk about Cleveland, though, a team that has a lot of future happiness, I guess, looking ahead. But what about 2025? How do you convince this team that you're going to go out and still be a competitive football team, knowing kind of what we all know, that we're planning for the future?
Well, I think they had an idea of that with how they restructured that offensive line this year. They got some youth on there now, and they got some talent on there, which they didn't have last year. But they kind of went into the season without a quarterback. If you don't have a proven quarterback, there's always uncertainty. And I think when you looked at it from this standpoint, Deshaun Watson's probably going to be their opening day starter. They don't know what he is. They have an idea that maybe he can get back close to what he used to be when he was with the Texans. And I think he clearly wins that job, by the way.
I never thought that Shedeur Sanders would be in this position. That's why you got to humble yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I seen this combine interview, man. He wasn't humble at all. Like, the way he was talking, bro, very, very unhumble. Shedeur really put himself in this position. It's plenty of black QBs that get in the first round. Caleb Williams, I mean, we're not going to use black as an excuse. We're not going to be acting like, oh, yeah, they're hating. They're not hating, bro. You should have seen how he was talking in the combine. You know what I'm saying? He literally said, if you're not willing to change the culture, don't draft me. He said that out of his own mouth. If you're not willing to change the culture, don't draft. Bro was very unhumble in his combine interview. I seen it with my own 2 eyes. So the NFL wasn't hating on no Sanders. He's trying to show him that he's not bigger than the NFL. And then you had Deion Sanders come out and say, who would draft Shedeur Sanders when you got your dad coming out and saying, I'm not going to let my son play for anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let my son just play for anybody. You know what I mean? I will step in and get involved. Why are you saying that, bro? You're hurting your draft stock without, like you're hurting your draft stock. You're hurting your son's draft stock without him even having to say anything. So why would we take a risk on picking you? You know what I'm saying? When you talking about you gonna get involved, why would we even waste a draft pick getting you? When you talking about you gonna get involved and you're not gonna let your son go anywhere and all that, it's a gamble. Pull another Eli Manning. You know what I'm saying? So he in this position because of him. If you would have just kept your mouth shut, I promise you would have went top 5. You would have had a starting job today. That's why you got to learn how to keep your mouth shut and learn how to be humble. If you a prideful person, bro, if you a haughty person, you ain't gonna make it in this world, bro. You gonna fall. You know what I'm saying? You see it with Adrian Bronner. You see it with a lot of people. Be humble, bro. I don't care about who overlooked you, bro. I don't care about what happened to you, bro. You better be humble, bro, because as quick as you can get it is as quick as you can lose it. I'm telling you right now. You know what I mean? God will sit your butt down, boy. Better be humble. He in this position because of him. If he would have just shut his dang mouth and would have just been a regular prospect, not saying a regular prospect, BU. I told him bust out my AP. Perfect time, man. You know what I mean? BU for Sholioli, but I'm just saying, like, your mouth destroys you. Your mouth and your dad's mouth, the reason why you in this position right now.
So Cleveland Browns with Myles Garrett and Deshaun Watson, are they a playoff team? No, they're not.
How you gonna say they're not a playoff team? Who are you to say they're not a playoff team? Bro, the defense has never been a problem for Cleveland. Cleveland always had a top defense, bro. So you saying they're not gonna be a playoff team? They could be a playoff team, bro. Their offense have improved, bro. You know what I'm saying? Tremendously. Their offense has improved. You know what I mean? So it's just like they got good wide receivers, bro. You know what I mean? They got a good running back core. Get that freaking O-line straight and that QB room straight, bro. They'll be a legit team, bro.
I'll tell you this, though. I can tell you, I know this for 100% certainty. People in Jacksonville are going to be happy that Myles Garrett isn't playing in week 1. You don't have to block him.
And she loves Aiden. How about you?
Feisty, tough.
Let it be me versus you.
Team. And I think Todd Monken's a smart offensive guy. They would have pieced together something that would have kept them in games. But I don't think they're going to win a lot of games. But you were looking at
who cares what you think?
Questions in Baltimore, new staff, new regime. We talked about them earlier. You have Cincinnati's revamped on defense, but we don't know what they're going to be. Can Joe Burrow stay on the field? That's a big question. And Pittsburgh, what do they get with Aaron Rodgers? So I think there's a lot of questions at that division. I think Cleveland's the 4th team. With Myles Garrett, they would have been the 4th team. Without Myles Garrett, they're going to be the 4th team.
Okay.
Let's get back to the
I don't know. I think the Bears honestly can beat the Bengals. Honestly, you know what I mean. I think they got the defense to do that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, and I think the Bears. I think the Browns. I said the Bears. The Browns can beat the Bengals. You know, I think the Browns could possibly beat the Ravens. You know what I mean? Honestly, I mean, just keeping it real, bro. You know.
Research team put out Myles Garrett, 3rd ever Defensive Player of the Year winner to switch teams the next season. Happened 2 other times. 1994, Deion Sanders, Niners to Cowboys. Dana Stubblefield, Niners to Washington. The Rams are now plus 550. That continues to trend shorter and shorter as this news goes by, Pete. But give me a sense of all the positive things we've talked about L.A., but what gives you concern? And then the Ty Simpson move, if we're talking about them going for it now, still going for the future back in the draft.
Well, that move gives me concern because
Trash Simpson
doing all this. Why did you make that move? Why not just continue to keep going? They could have had something else. Right. In fact, they could have had what? Speed. They lack speed. They lack speed on that team. That's the one thing that shows up is where is the speed? Because they don't get the vertical threat down the field. Look, Puka Nacua is a great player. Devontae Adams, they're great players. They don't scare you down the field. They make big plays, and Puka Nacua is great. They also have questions about him off the field. Let's be real. Devontae Adams is playing in the last year of his deal. If you look at the structure of it, this is his last year with the Rams no matter what. And so I think there's a win-now attitude, and that puts a lot of pressure on players. I still have some concerns about the
if y'all don't win now.
Not great. But again, Sean McVay, great play caller. Matt Stafford, veteran quarterback, coming off a great season.
So, yeah, that's it right there. I'm not trying to keep hearing them talk and all that. Like I said, Madden 27 should be exciting. Hey, I'm doing a Madden 27 franchise, so y'all can get ready for that until GTA 6 come out. And like I said, my Madden franchise is going to be totally different. You're going to have to pay $20 to get inside the Madden 27 franchise. And the $20 that you put in will be the prize money that you will win if you make it to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? If you make it to the Super Bowl. So like I said, 20 times 32, that's like $600. First place player will win $400 something. The second place player will win